All right. Hello, everyone. How you doing today? Let's see. Let's get this started. How's everyone doing today? We're here on this lovely Thursday afternoon. We're gonna be talking some Warzone. There's some Warzone update. Yeah, so let's get into it. So, just 2 days ago, Warzone had this update, version 5.23. We're going to be talking all about this update today. I'm also going to be answering any questions from the community. If you guys have any questions in chat, feel free to ask. There's also a forum thread with questions upon people have pre-asked questions. We're going to be going over those. This thread, up to 36 posts. Pretty good. How can we see all currently online players in our friends list? Yeah, we're going to get into that. That is the second thing on our agenda today. Happy Groundhog Day. Is today Groundhog Day? I don't even follow that. What day is Groundhog Day? When is... on February 2nd. Oh, it is. Wow. That's a great movie. It's a classic. Yeah, so let's get into the update. So, 2 days ago, there's an update, 5.23. We're going to go through everything that happened in that update, big and small. A lot of times we go into more detail than it says on the blog, so you get kind of the inside scoop. Just want to confirm that even though the Swap Picks Mox is now free for all users, it can still be used on the seasonal ladder right now. It still can't be used. Yeah, unfortunately, the ladders do not support mods. The ladders have not gotten an update in quite some time. It has been, man, what is the last... I mean, the last thing we did with the ladders was the 3v3 ladder was added. And that was many, many years ago. And that's not really even an update to the ladders. That was just adding a new one. Ladders haven't been updated in a long time, so unfortunately ladders still predate mods, and so they don't support mods. That is something I do hope to add someday. And the ladders are going to get an update sometime soon. I don't know if mod support will be added to them or not. That's not really the highest priority thing to add, I think, but it is one of the things that could be added. When watching replay history on mobile, could there be potentially a way to move or minimize the commit button? That is an interesting suggestion. I've never heard of that suggestion before. I can understand why you might need to do that if you're on a small device, you don't have a lot of screen real estate. So let's talk about user voice. So if you go to the user voice forum, you can find this linked if you go to help, frequently asked questions. How do I submit feedback? It's kind of buried. Maybe that should be the top link. How do I submit feedback or suggest new features? I'm going to move that to the top. If you go to this forum, and I don't know why this page looks so bad. It's like messed up for me. Is it messed up for anyone else? Or is it just me? Like, the text is all wonky and on the right side. And this is how it's supposed to look, like this one. I've noticed this recently. But this is the site primary way you suggest features. So this idea of moving or minimizing the commit button. Well, first off, I think you need to refine your idea because the commit button should not be visible when you're watching a replay or history. The commit button's only there. The commit button already goes away and it's replaced by the little history window. You might be talking about the history window. But yeah, maybe take a screenshot and show us what you mean. Please lower the music background. This user voice site is the primary way you suggest new features. You can vote on features you would like to see added, or you can add your own. Very important question. I've recently started learning how to make homemade pipe bombs to mail to people. Can I have your address? Sure. It's 1234 Fake Street. Let me see. Thanks for creating a great game. You're welcome. I'm glad you enjoy it. I mailed you about a bug regarding players that go on vacation, then delete their account and not be able to get booted. I didn't see this mentioned in the newest update. Was it patched? Yes, it is in the blog post. It is should be here. VAC. Why is it not here? Oh, yeah, it was patched. I guess I forgot to put it in the notes. Yeah, if a player deletes their account and they're on vacation, their vacation just automatically ends now with this latest update. That is something that I think probably was being abused by trolls. They would create an account, although you don't get vacations right away, you'd have to unlock the vacation feature. I guess they would create an account, unlock a vacation, start a vacation, join a game, and then delete their account, so the game would just be stuck. Although, honestly, that doesn't seem like a very effective way of trolling, because you could just not delete your account and do the same thing. So I don't know why somebody would do that. But yeah, if you delete your account, the vacation ends immediately. That is something that was changed in the latest update. You meant the history button. Yeah. So that's a good candidate for something you could create on user voice. If enough people vote for it, that's something that could be looked into. Thanks for adding the Clan War rating to the game settings. One more part to the user voice. Adding the Clan War ratings to the game summary window. Could you also do this, please? Create on user voice, and we can consider that. Oh yeah, and like the chain, it does make sense to go there. I agree, it makes sense to go there, just like quick match ratings. And you could see how it changed, because quick match ratings, whenever you finish a quick match game, it shows you how your rating changed. I really love the game, but how come I keep getting matched up quick match games? There's a player I've blocked for trolling me. Yeah, unfortunately, the block list does not affect quick match matchmaking. And the reason is because it would be very abusable. It would be very easy for someone just to simply block all the players that are better than them and then try to like farm easy wins, which is not really in the spirit of the game. So the solution to that is quick match doesn't obey the block list. The block list will just stop you from seeing their chat. And so hopefully if you don't see their chat, there's limited ways for them to troll you. We recently deduced that in Clan Wars, if two clans have the same amount of wins at the end of the season, the final rank clans are deduced by the formula Clan ID mod 128 or mod 256. I am suspect of that. It might be a small sample size. How many times have you seen it happen? What's the tiebreaker intention program like that? I actually don't know what the tiebreaker is if two clans have the same number of wins. I would have to look that up. You can send me mail and ask that. I don't know off the top of my head. I would have to look at the code. I can't remember. Is it possible to get an account back if it's been deleted, right? Yes, that is correct. Deletion is permanent. The way to troll is by abandoning a quick match game, so I have to sit there waiting for the clock to run out. Is there a way to avoid this? No, there's not a way to avoid that, unfortunately. That's what the boot timer is for. Unfortunately, that's why I try to set boot times as low as possible in quick match. Like the templates that I'm in control of, I think all have pretty low boot times. Like the Small Earth is only 1 minute per turn plus 2 or 3 minutes banked. But yeah, that is a problem I'd like to see a better solution to someday. So what do you do when somebody just leaves and you have to wait for them to leave? And I think the answer to that is use banked boot times on your templates. Because, I mean, it won't help if you leave them on the very first turn, but tends to help. What happened with the lawsuit from Activision Blizzard? Are you guys clear? It is still ongoing, unfortunately. The lawsuit is, the law system is not fast, unfortunately, but it is still going. But at this point, I don't think we're in danger. I don't think we're going to be... I think the danger time has passed. At the very beginning, there was a threat to our existence where it could have been the end of Warzone, but I think that's passed. So I think we're in the clear, but the lawsuit is still going. This is random, but can we make data about teaming players in FFA so players have alt-account friends playing together be visible? Yeah, that is something that's been requested before. Currently, you could try to display if two people are playing from the same IP. That is something I've seen other games do. That's a good candidate for user voice. Maybe someday we'll do something like that. There's a lot of problems with that solution too. There's a lot of caveats, but it's possible. Commander Bomb has 3+5. That's pretty long. It is, and I've thought about lowering it. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Should the Commander Bomb card template have a lower boot time? What do you guys think? It's 3 minutes base plus 5 minutes banked. I think that's accurate. Maybe it should be like 2 plus 4 or something like that. Thanks for the quick gift attack fix. You're welcome. We'll get into that in the stream. Hopefully it settles down in your favor. It's hilarious. They try to claim you in. Indeed. Another scare tactic. Perhaps have the money to burn. They do have the money to burn. That's for sure. What would happen if you changed the name of Warzone before litigation ends? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. According to my IP, I'm 5 different players from 3 countries at once due to shared count. Yeah, see, there is a problem with that. Combom 2 to 330. I mean, part of it is it's difficult because the Commander Bomb template, people know it now. Like when it was new, it's a very difficult template. Like there's a lot of math you have to do. And people know it now, so I think that people in general would be okay with a lower boot time now. But that's a tricky situation because then you're making it harder for newbies. Any discount lifetime Warzone memberships coming up? Not at the moment, nope. Do we seriously need to consider 8 minutes to think about where to put the commander first turn? Well, if you spend 8 minutes on your first turn, you've lost your bank for the rest of the game. So there's trade-offs there. Okay, let's talk about tags. This is the first thing in the update. Tags is a feature I'm really excited about. This is something that people have been asking for, like better ways of categorizing maps and stuff for a while. So this is what tags added. We now have all these categories. If you go to the filter section of maps. So before we only had new maps, real world, fictional, novelty, and local. We only had these top 5. Now we can filter on diplomacy maps, lottery maps, fantasy maps, Europe maps, world maps, Asia maps, space maps, strategic maps, World War II maps, and INSS maps. And so this is, and I'm also open to suggestions if you guys think about more categories that should be here. And we'll talk about the criteria for what makes a good category. But this is what is new in this update. And the cool thing about this is you can actually vote on what maps go onto each of these categories. Like, let's do it. Let's go, what has not been categorized? That one's already been categorized. Let's dig deep. Let's go to page 14, find something that hasn't been categorized. So, like, Strange Earth. Here's a map. It's tagged as real world. If you open it, you can see what it's tagged as. This should probably also be tagged with something else. So there's this little button next to it called Edit Tags. And the cool thing about this is everybody has this button. You can edit the tags on any map, not just your own maps. You can edit it on any map. So you click Edit Tags, and then you get this thing where you can check what categories this map should be in. So this is a world map, so I'm going to check world. I think that's the only one that applies. You click Save. And there we go. It's now tagged as real world and world for everybody. This is not just you. This is tagged for everybody. And the way this works, it's kind of like a voting system. So if a whole bunch of people come in here and check different things and have different opinions on what a map should be tagged as, then it will kind of use the most commonly voted tags to be the tags for that map. And so now if we go back to community maps, I think it updates right away. And we filter on world. Strange Earth, there it is. We just caused this map to appear in this category. It was not prior. So if anyone is interested in helping to sort and categorize all the maps, you can do that. Just go to the map system. Start clicking edit tags and categorizing them. How did you come up with the current list of map tags and their display ordering? For example, there's a Europe and Asia tags, but no America or Africa. They look to be randomly ordered. Yeah, no, it was not based on statistical analysis. I basically just looked at the map and came up with what I thought most tags fit into. Like there's a whole lot of Europe maps. There's a whole lot of world maps. I don't know of that many Africa maps. So let's talk about what makes a good tag. So like maybe Africa would be a good tag. How many maps are there of all of Africa, right? The Central African Republic. How come I'm only finding one? I know there's more than one. Oh, I'm only on 100. The Central African, so there's Africa Big, 1. Africa 2, Sub-Saharan Africa 3, Elitist Africa 4. There's really only 4. Oh, Alternative Africa 5. West Africa is only part of it. Africa Ultima 6. Europa Universalis Africa 7. Elitist Africa 2, 8. 40 Africas? I guess that qualifies. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 16. Oh, I looped around. So 15. There are 15 maps that are of all of Africa. That's borderline, to be honest. That could kind of go either way. Like, we wouldn't want to make a tag for a category where there's only 5 maps in that category. It should be fairly well populated. At the same time, we don't want to make a category that is, conversely, we don't want to make a category that has 80% of the maps fit that tag. A good tag, I feel like, encompasses maybe 10% of the maps, maybe. What's that? 10% of the maps would be 200. Yeah, because we also don't want to have 100 tags. We want to have a reasonable number. I feel like up to maybe 20 maybe 15 tags. How many do we have right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, probably less than 20 tags would be a good number of tags to have. So we want to choose tags that encompass a good chunk of the maps, but not all of them. Africa, probably, there's only 15 maps of Africa. So maybe it's not quite enough to be a good tag. I don't know. And this is something that is new, so we're going to have to try to figure it out. There's even one for Lotto, indeed. I noticed that the 5th miscellaneous sort category is gone. Yes, there used to be a phantom sort category in here. It was basically a bug. That was the previous update. It was a month ago. The tags are definitely making it easier to find maps in less time. A beautiful map category. I did consider beautiful maps, but it could work. I considered good maps and bad maps, like a good tag and a bad tag, but no, that's dumb. That's handled by the rating. Beautiful map could actually work. That's actually a good suggestion. Are the tag votes from every player weighted equal, or votes from players weighted basically different criteria? They are weighted differently based on criteria. And that's done kind of there to keep people from breaking it with alt accounts. So a level 1 account has very low impact on the rating, whereas a level 50 account has a higher impact. Or if you have a membership, it also has a higher impact. If you have a membership, basically has the same impact as a level 50. Basically, that's there to keep people from creating a bunch of low-level accounts and just faking the rating. I hope they are weighted like forum. In fact, they are weighted exactly like forum posts. It is the same code. This probably wouldn't be of interest to you, but could I make a mod where you have different names for cities, territories? Would be a nice touch to Diplo. I don't think mods do not currently let you rename territories, but you could create your own names for them and kind of display them in the UI, I guess. Sure. You can't rename the official name that'll appear when you hover over the territory, but you can create your own UI. I find it easier to find maps not normally obvious. Cool. There's only so much you can do with Africa. There are at least 3 elitist Africa versions already. Africa is a large continent with a diverse place. You could do a lot with it. Yeah, and so this is another decision I had to make. When you use the Europe tag, and this is actually not a decision I made, but this is a decision that the community is going to have to make in their voting. What does the Europe tag mean? Does that mean anything that's in Europe? Like this Benelux medium, does this belong with the Europe tag? I would argue no. In my opinion, and this is going to be decided by people's votes, so that my opinion is not necessarily most relevant, but I would argue that a Europe tag means it's a map of all of, or at least most of, Europe. And there's going to be gray areas, because what about this one? This has got Europe and some of Asia and Africa. Does this belong to the Europe tag? And so there's going to be, this is why it's cool, it's open to voting, because it's going to be up to the decisions of the masses. I think that this is fine to include Europe because it's got Europe and a little bit more. But if it's an entire world map, it shouldn't have Europe. because that contains more than just Europe. It's the whole world. So like I would go to Benelux Medium. I would say edit tags. I would turn Europe off. Click save. And you can see that you can turn tags off. It's not just selecting the 3 most popular ones. So I just deleted it. Island of Rockall. Why is this Europe? That's not a Europe map. Get out of here. Okay. Where did I leave off? Lander type bonuses are tagged under INSS type bonus. Yeah, okay, sure. That's up to the community in voting. I actually don't know what the right answer to that question is. When is this stream finished? When the stream is finished, I can do map taking. Awesome. Thanks for helping out. Thanks for the nice update. You're welcome. So no Sweden. If there's enough Sweden apps, we can kind of... Afra is kind of needed because you can have the other continents as well. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I can... Since you have the other continents as well. Yeah, I mean, it's based on the number of maps that exists. So if there's enough Africa maps out there to justify the tag, I would do it. But if there's not enough, like, we're not going to add an Antarctica tag because there's, like, no Antarctica maps. So it's like, just because we have the other continents doesn't mean we have to add every continent. I put some new suggestions for tags in the AMA kit. Okay, we'll look on it. Update on lawsuit. I talked about that earlier. It's still going. Time to make more Africa maps, man. Yeah. Novelty tag for fun and unusual maps. So some of these tags actually have descriptions. Like if I filter on novelty, there's a description of that. Novelty shows the maps that don't even try to resemble a traditional map. And novelty is one of the legacy categories. This is one of the categories that existed before, which is why there's 500 already in there. Basically, local and up were the ones that already existed. Diplomacy and down are the ones that are new. And so you can see these are not as well populated. There's only 7. Okay, let me try to catch up on chat here. Sweet, it's just like the forums. It's awesome, yeah. Is it true that the matchmaking Clan Wars starts with the highest Clan War rating? Yes, matchmaking starts with the highest. We consider giving priority to the lowest or mixing it up. So the reason it starts with the highest is then you're more likely to get the best ratings. Like you want to match the best players with each other. So starting with the highest, if you start with the lowest, you're going to end up matching the worst with each other, and then the high-ranking players will get really poor matches. And that's there because you want to actually have a good competition for the top spot, right? You want to keep giving good players matches with bad players. You want to avoid that as much as possible. At least in the browser version, the sound when the turn advances isn't affected by the settings. Really, it should be. I'm not aware of that. If you find a bug, okay, let's talk about reporting a bug. If you go to the bottom of any web page, there is a report, this link right here. If you're having technical problems, please report it on the report bug page. You get this page. And if you're on the mobile app, you go to help, contact, report a bug. Let me bring up the mobile app. Here we go. You click this button in the top right corner, you go to help, go to contact, report a bug. So you can do the same thing in the mobile app. If you encounter a bug, you should report it using that system. If Europe means anywhere in Europe, the world tag means anywhere on Earth. I think Europe means maps of Europe, and the world tag means maps of the world. So all maps should get the space tag. Exactly. That is the flaw in the logic. How much do the servers cost a month to keep up? It costs about $1,000 a month to keep the Warzone servers up. JK3 providing those are real world maps. Can we make the AI smarter? It is easy to beat them. Generally, the way you make the AI more challenging is to add more of them. Like if you really want more AIs, just add more of them. If you want even more challenge, do a team game. Oops. And add all the AIs on a team against each other. And then this is basically how you control the difficulty. My skill is close to the AI. How many mails do we get per day? Must be quite a lot. I don't know, like maybe 20 to 50, 20 to 30, 20 to something like that. I think I'm a really good player since I'm level 57. When I look at my past games, I have have of them I surrendered in. Yeah, well, if you're playing a 1v1s, it depends who you're playing against, right? If you're playing a quick match, it tries to match you against other people who are equal skill to you. So most people will have surrendered in half of them. That is not unusual. That does not mean you're not a good player. How'd you choose the Warzone colors? They were chosen mostly to try to keep conflicts away. We have 24 primary colors, and it's actually really hard to find 24 colors that don't conflict with each other and also don't conflict with any of the things in the main game, like neutral color or the background color. And even with some of the ones we have, they're kind of close, like, what is it, Copper Rose and Orchid? No, Copper Rose and Saddle Brown or something like that. Some of the ones we have are already really close, which is unfortunate, but I don't think there's any way to really improve it. Okay, so I think we're done talking about tags. Is there anything else we need to say about tags? Basically, it's community voted tags. The other thing that's tagged is mods. So when you go to the change mods page, we have a new filter here, and these are the mods for filters. We have commerce, strategic, diplomacy, silly, convenience, and UI only. And I think Dutchman is coming here, and he's categorized some of these. So you can like filter on strategic. There's all the strategic mods. That's a lot. Silly. What got silly? Like Lotto mod, instant random winner. That's silly. Why is neutral move silly? Oh, maybe it's silly. Pick swap? That doesn't seem silly. No. I'm not going to. Whoa, this image is not showing up. Okay, we found our first bug on stream. Edit tags button not showing. Okay, I'm gonna write that down. This is supposed to say edit tags right here. It's not silly. Pick swap is a great mod. We'll talk more about pick swap in a minute. We'll get there. I guess we'll do it now since we're here. So another change in this update is the swap picks mod is now available for everyone. So this is the first time that a mod is available outside of membership. So mods are generally a member feature, but now even if you're not a mod, you can make a game with one mod. There's one mod that is free for everyone. So when you come into either multiplayer create game or single player custom game, if you're a non-member, you can come down here to change mods. Now I'm a member so I can see everything, but if you're not a member, you will see just this one appear, pick swap mod. Actually, you'll see everything appear, but this is the only one you can use. It's kind of in a category by itself. Pick swap, so you can check this. You can click mod info. And this dialogue is new as well. This dialogue's been, it's not new, it's been refined. You can like view the source code of mods if you're so inclined to do that. You can view the tags, but most of all, you can use it in your game. So the pick swap mod is actually when you pick territories that you want to start with, you're picking for your opponent, and your opponent is picking for you. So like if I check here, I create a game with 2 people. I think it only supports 2 people, although I'm not 100% sure. And then, of course, you got to set it to players choose their starting locations. And then you'll get a little message telling you that you're picking for your opponent. Just to remind you, don't pick for yourself. So you pick something, and pick 4. And then my opponent is here, and I got the stuff they pick. Of course, I'm playing against the AI, which is really dumb. The AI is just going to pick good territories. So, yeah, that's the pick swap mod. It is now free. Now, I will mention it's only free for directly created games. So, like, if you go to create game and create a game, if you're playing in quick match, you still have to be a member. Maybe someday we'll change that. That wasn't intentional. I just haven't done the work to make it free for quick match yet. Maybe someday I'll do that work. I don't know when, but yeah. So it's cool that mods, it's kind of like a sneak preview. It's designed kind of just to give you a sense of what mods can be. And it also lets you view the full list of mods, so you can, as a non-member, come in here and see all of these. Didn't you have colors with patterns? We do have colors with patterns. Those are reserved for 2 ways. Some of them you can buy, and some of them are there for when you have games with more than 25, 26 people, 29 people or something like that. Once you get a certain number of people in a game, actually more than 40 people, I think, and then you can choose colors with patterns. shade Upton tag. 4 kinds of pink, 2 shades of green should be fine. Yeah. Is there documentation for the Git performance endpoint? There's not, and I should add that. Let me add that to my list. And what JK is talking about is, or TBest, what TBest is talking about is there is a new API that if you're a mod developer, you can see a bunch more stuff about your mod. So this is another thing I'll just talk about briefly because we're talking about it now. In the most recent update, you can come in here and, oh, that looks bad. It's going off the page. I should fix that too. Text. That doesn't happen in the Uni app. Let's show it where it works, where it looks better. If you come in here, you have this new button. You have this new performance data you can see down here where it says performance data in the last 30 days. You can see kind of how well your mod is performing. So this is added to kind of help people get their performance better. And if you click this full details button, let me get it on this window. You can kind of see some performance data from your mod. So you can see like the dates. You can see for every time your mod was invoked, how much time it spent. So this is in milliseconds. So this took 21 milliseconds to run my mod's code for this message, and it was called one time. Right? These are all called one time. I guess this isn't a very popular mod, but yeah, you can kind of see. And if you're a mod developer, you can use this to kind of see where your mod is being slow and then hopefully try to improve it. That's all that means. And the other thing that was improved in mods is the process for requesting a mod becoming public is much improved. Before you just had to like send me mail. Now you have this nice button if you're on an unapproved mod. Where's an unapproved mod? That's a development mod. Like this one, you have this request public button where you can come in here and you can like type notes and it helps you select a game. You can select a game that uses your mod. To submit, you have to play a test game. So there's a whole process now for going public that's new and much more refined than what we had before. And I think that's all. And some of the reports system is better. You can see the number of errors your mod has right here in this window. So that's the stuff that's been improved for mod developers in the most recent update. Okay, zooming out. In some big games like the 10v10, I changed the colors of all the players and then the team be one color, but it takes a while. Can you add a feature instantly color teams a color? One thing you might not be aware of that you can do, and I mentioned this because a lot of people don't know this, but if you go, where's a team game? I guess this is team game. If you go to the statistics panel and you go to the teams graph, you can actually click these buttons and it will highlight a team. So like this is all team A. You can kind of see them bouncing here. This is all team B. Team B is right here. Team C, I cannot see it all. Team D is right there. You can kind of click it over and over. You can see them bouncing. Team E is me. It's right there. And neutral. Yeah, you can do that in statistics window. That's the easiest way to see teams. I know it's not exactly what you're asking, but I mentioned that because I think a lot of people don't know about that feature. Where did I leave off? I had a question I want to ask about next stream, but I can't remember now. All right, no problem. See you next stream. How does the swap pick mod count as the free game members get each week? No, it does not, because it is completely free. How is VR development going? It is going very slowly. So 3D maps was kind of the feature I added first for VR, because I was thinking about VR, and then I'm like, well, everything looks bad flat. It's got to be 3D. And 3D maps did get, it's making progress in this update. So we're making progress towards it. But it is still something I'm not sure I'm going to do. When I announced it, I put a bunch of question marks after it because it is an idea. It's something that might happen. Did you even mention that in the blog post, or to read over that? I did not explain exactly what the performance data was in the blog post. I need to write documentation for it. I'm pretty sure Caesar's challenge is impossible. All the single player levels are possible. Been playing since the Warlight days. Love your game, man. Thanks. I'm glad you enjoy it. Thanks for stopping by. The mod UI overhaul is very nice. Good. I'm glad you enjoy it. I wonder what chat message was. Very sorry I had a long meeting yesterday. Even had time to play with all the new stuff yet. No worries. It looks more and more. It looks like that more and more stuff recently becomes non-member only, which is great. Does that mean Warzone is shifting its monetization pleasure to agility? No. Basically, new features get introduced to members first, and then there's two classes of features that end up in membership. One is some stuff that's in membership is permanent, like right now we have bomb cards and not being able to see ads and stuff like that. And another class of thing that ends up in membership is new features that were just added. Like 3D maps was always intended to be available for everyone. It just seems to be introduced for members first. Basically, members get it sooner. And then once it's been out for a while, we take it out of membership. And the reason the mod is available for non-members is kind of like a sneak preview. Non-members will never have full access to mods. That's still mods is generally a membership feature, but they kind of get swap picks as sneak preview. They might get some more mods as sneak previews in the future, but for now it's just the one. It's far from the most impossible levels that are completely unbeaten. There are some that are still completely unbeaten. Well, all the main single players on the main path are beaten, of course. There might be some community levels that are unbeaten, but they're at least beaten by the creator, because you have to be able to beat it to upload it. Like if you go to sort by most difficult. 0 wins, 0 wins, 0 wins. There are 3 levels that currently have 0 wins, but they were all beaten by the creators, so we know they are possible. Will Warzone ever be renamed back to Warlights? I don't have any plans to do that. Part of the problem with Warlight is I can never get the domain name. So I can never get warlight.com. The owners of it will not sell it to me. I have asked multiple times. When you blocking ad blockers? No, currently no plans to block ad blockers. If you need help with Caesar Challenge, just ask. It's not difficult, it does take a while. Yeah. Okay. Show us who's online. Oh, I talked about this in a minute ago, so let's just follow up on it. 3D naps are now available to everyone. So if you're not a member, you can come in here. This used to be only for members, but now anyone can come in here. 3D maps, turn them on, and instead of looking like that, it looks like this. It's just a visual improvement. And as I said before, it was always possible. It was always the intention that 3D maps would be for everyone. So this is the next step in the 3D maps, basically life cycle. So 3D maps started out as a member-only feature. Now it's available for non-members. The next step, and I think the final step, is to make them on by default, which will eventually happen. Eventually 3D maps will just be, when you first install the app, you'll just see 3D right away. That will happen at some point in the future. Okay. Why did you never change Caesar's Challenge? I've beaten it twice, but it takes so long. I generally don't. I generally try not to change the single player levels because people have world records and stuff. And if you change the level, it kind of invalidates everyone's record. You've beaten it twice, but it takes so long with perfect play. Maybe you should try imperfect play. Maybe it'll go faster. Still comes down to RNG where the enemy captain goes. Nah, you can beat it without random. There is a strategy that will beat it consistently. If you search hard enough, search your feelings, you will find it. I might have missed this, but we were able to suggest new tag ideas like Africa. You can suggest new tags, yes. It just has to be a good candidate for a tag is something that encompasses maybe like 10% of the maps ish. Doesn't have to be exactly that amount, but you don't want a tag that has 5 maps. That would be not a good use of a tag. And you don't want a tag that encompasses 90% of the maps either, because that would be useless. I can't get the gold star. He keeps running away. How do I unlock Auto Conquer in order to play Warzone Idle challenges? Auto Conquer is in advancements. If you go to your advancement section. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, that's fine. I can open my Warzone Idle. If you go to the advancement section, scroll down, you have to unlock to phase 2, but it is here. Basically, you have to put enough points into phase 1 to unlock phase 2. Once you unlock phase 2, it's the very first advancement. You can get Auto Conquer. Wouldn't that impact performance heavily? I lost context. Are you talking about 3D maps? 3D maps maybe do take a little bit more performance, but it's only on small maps. It'll default to, there's a setting for 3D maps that says small maps only. And this will be the default. So big maps will still run in 2D for better performance, but I think most people's devices can handle 3D maps on small maps. If your device can't, you can always go to the settings and turn it off. It will always be an option to turn it off. You love Warzone, by the way. Thanks. I'm glad you enjoy it. Thanks for stopping by. There are only 13 levels. I can't seem to beat. I'm focusing on Gold Star and everything. I'm glad you have turned... So glad you turned off the music. It upstages you tremendously here. I didn't turn off the music. Can you not hear it? I'm working on gold starring levels. It does feel a little quiet. I like to have more access to see the games, like the quick match that had been played. Like one could see the ladder games, or games that have already been played for coins. The reason that's not possible, it's something that could be added. There's a couple ways of doing that. You can go to Clan Wars and click View Map, and go to one of the top maps, one of the top clans, and click this G button, and you can see all the games they've played. And you can see it's kind of highlighted green for wins and reds for losses. That's one way of seeing games. If you're a member, there's also an official feature called Recent Games. Recent Games lets you see a whole bunch of games that were played, and this has like an algorithm for sorting them. And this will include quick match games. You can see they're here. Typically tries to give you good games, so like high coin games. Like here's a 360 coin game. Here's a 361 coin game. So yeah, that's another way of seeing. If you just like to see games played by other people, is it possible to see how many people have completed all the levels? No, there's no current way to see that, unfortunately. But there's a lot of people that have beaten all the levels. Levels with commanders are tough because they run away into a quarter, negating a gold star. That's true, but at the same time, if they don't have commanders, then you have to kill every territory anyway. So levels with commanders should be even easier to beat faster, right? He was busy between songs, okay. Warzone ever be listed on Good Old Games, Steam, or Epic stores? I don't know about ever, but I don't have plans on doing that right now. Part of my concerns with that is Warzone's business model is kind of different from most games on those platforms. Like on Steam, most games are just a single-time purchase, whereas Warzone's a free-to-play game. And I know Steam is free-to-play games too, but most of Warzone's revenue, a lot of Warzone's revenue comes from ads, and those games don't have ads, so I don't know. It's kind of a different business model. Also, I feel like we'd kind of get destroyed on graphics quality if we went there. How should we go about suggestion tags? Mail you? Yes, you can mail me. What inspired you to make Warzone? I really just wanted to play it. This is back in 2008. I was playing other Risk online games with my friends, and I wanted to, and I had some ideas of how I could make it better. And so I just started making it. And I never intended to make it, turn this into a 14-year endeavor. At the time, I thought I would just play a couple games with my friends and then I would move on. But I had so much fun working on it that I just kept adding to it, and my friends invited their friends, and it just kind of grew and turned into what it is today. And I was able to quit my job and make it my full-time job, and I'm loving it. It's great. I'm very thankful for everyone that enjoys the game. Risk Global Domination added portals 3 months ago. Is this a feature you could replicate in Warzone? No, that's interesting. I don't know what portals are. Maybe I should check that out sometime. But yeah, you can add it to user voice. Steam seems to be accepting more and more free-to-play and ad-based games. Do they? I wasn't aware about that. How's the lawsuit versus Activision going? We talked about that earlier. It is still going. I'm sure this has already been asked, but are there plans to make new idol levels? Not at the moment, no. There are quite a lot of idol levels already. I don't get many requests for more. Because especially once you've super ascended, you unlock a bunch more. So there's a lot. What was your job before Warzone? I was a software engineer on the Windows team at Microsoft. Sorry I joined late, but I don't know what was already asked. Yeah. Okay, so we talked about tags. We talked about 3D maps. Let's talk about Show Is Who Online. So this is an example of something that got added entirely because of the number of votes it got on user voice. When you go to create game and change players, and you see your list of friends, there's now a little green circle next to all the players who are online. You can see I have one here, a little green circle next to me. And like John Titus is online, and T-Best is online, and Chewy is online. So that's cool. That's something you can do now. I think you can... I should add a sort option for it. Sort by online. So you can put them all together. Sometimes you just want to make a real-time game. You want to invite all the people who are here. I should add that. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, so we talked about 3D maps. We talked about swap picks. We talked about the mod UI improvements. So now we get into kind of all the smaller little changes. I'll go through these kind of rapidly. Does the C Online use WebSockets? No. It just looks at how recently they've done something. Any comment on new Clan War templates? Maybe add some more seasonal or quick match templates to the pool. I do think Clan Wars needs new templates. I'm not sure how to do it, to be honest. Like, I haven't figured out the right way of doing that. Adding more quick match templates to the pool. Yeah, I mean, it is something that I would like to involve the community in. I just don't know the right way of doing it. I feel like having a static list, I don't want to just add more. I would like to like swap them out in some way or something, because I don't want to have too many. I feel like it has the right number of templates right now, but I don't think it should be a static list forever. So I don't know how to do that. Maybe some way of like swapping out the ones we have into new ones and just doing a vote is the easiest way, but I feel like there's opportunity for better there. Another thing I still need to figure out is like how we make the quick match list of templates less stale, because I also feel like the quick match templates, the voting system, it's great that you can vote in, but most of the time it's just the same. Like the first 30 never really change, and it's just the ones towards the end that like get cycled in and out, which is not a very healthy system in my opinion. Need to figure out how to do that. The green is really hard to see on a green background. Yeah, you're right. I should fix that. Let's see. I'll write that down. Okay. Take your time. New templates would be amazing. What is the hardest level for me personally? Like idle levels? Single player levels? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I don't play a lot of single player, so I don't really know. Any big plans for 2023? Yes, absolutely. Adding dual auto to clan doors will be a blast. Sure, get right on that. 10 out of 10. Can you create zones of distribution? For instance, player A be randomly sent in Russia and player B be randomly sent in Spain. You can. There's a feature called scenario distributions, although that has to be enabled by the map maker. So you have to find a map that uses that or make your own map. Like Double Earth is a map that has a scenario distribution. Oops. Distribution settings. So like the top bottom scenario where one player will be in the top Earth and the other player will be in the bottom Earth. And if you use automatically distribute, then one player will be automatically distributed randomly in the top Earth. And the other player will be randomly in the bottom Earth. That's basically what you're asking. How hard would it be to add special quick match mode to give you a non-ranked quick match against other people who want to practice their pool of templates unranked? That's interesting. I don't know. it's not a question of how hard it is. It's a question of whether or not it's worth doing. You can add it to quick match if enough people. User voice. If enough people voted on it, it's something I would consider. I'm not sure it really makes sense. Like, why is it so bad just to adjust your rating? Like, when you say unranked, I assume you're talking about you don't want to adjust your quick match rating. But I don't think it's a big deal to adjust your quick match rating. Like, I guess some people obsess over the quick match rating, right? They don't want to lose rating, so they're like afraid to try new things, I guess. I don't know. Quick match rating isn't meant to be obsessed over. Like, I would say just don't worry about it. But it's the kind of thing that if enough people vote for, I would consider. I feel like a main problem with random distributions oftentimes players on top of one another. Yeah, so you can also use these distributions like Warlords. In this map has a Warlords distribution, which no two territories are touching each other. So if you use that, then you are guaranteed that no one will be right next to each other. You can also make your own distribution, right? You can come in here and you can say, only these territories should be distributable, right? And then if you click save, you click players choose their starting locations. Just like that, now we have a scenario where players are going to be spread out. That's another thing you can do. If you feel like if you want to ensure people are more spread out and still want to use random distribution, you can do that. Even with manual distribution, that works. Actually, no, sorry, I misspoke. That's only for picking. For players choosing their starting location, is what I just did will work. If you use auto distribution, then you have to specify exactly where everybody is. Why are there only 40 quick match templates? Could there be a couple more? Yeah, it's kind of arbitrary. It's just the number I decided on that I think was the right number. Can you please a couple more? I mean, if it was 42, it would be fine too, but I decided on 40. Gotta choose something. Can you please make quick match templates not auto-enable anymore? I would be open to a setting for that. It has to be on by default because otherwise most players would just be stuck with the first template. Is 3D mobile only? 3D works everywhere except the website. So if you're a non-member, basically that means mobile only, yes. If you are a member, you have the standalone client, which is what I'm running here, which has 3D maps. Asking about potential features. I've been maybe asked this before. Have you thought about adding classes of troops? Like certain classes are strong at some and weak against others? I have thought about it, yes. More buildings like castles, which make a territory have higher defensive bonus. Yeah, those are all good ideas. Those are things that I think should be added in mods first. Like mods are like the experimentation area to see more, to experiment with more features. Can we see your face? No, not that I'm aware of. Unless you're in my room. I don't know how you would do that. PS is a hardcore player. He wants to be ranked first. I'll never beat Terminator, but I could try. The only things about quick match rating is that it works like real-time ladder or multi-tay ladder, so losses aren't that big of a deal. The more games, usually the better. I would say that's true for... So quick match ratings work differently depending on if you're lower rated or higher rated. Once you get to 500, it's basically a pure ELO system. If you're below 500, then this statement is true. The more games you play, the more your rating will go up. Once you get to 400, it starts phasing out, and then once you get to 500, it transitions into a full pure ELO system, where it should no longer be true. The more you play, the more rating goes up. You got more coins than me? How dare you? Wasn't manual custom scenario a thing for a very long time? Yes, it's been a thing for a long time. I only played 2 quick match templates, 2 basic ones. When are we doing another physical Warzone meetup? That'd be cool. I want a game where I can take opponents' cards when I kill them. Yeah, you could do that with a mod. You could somebody could make a mod that does that. Let me say that another way. But right now, that is a feature that when I first was designing Warzone, I was considering. But I decided against it because I don't want to encourage people to kill other people, because player elimination is not that fun, in my opinion. possible ban of Vader. How could you? Player elimination isn't that fun. Like when you're playing with a group of friends and you kill your friend and then they just have to sit there while everyone else plays. That's dumb. So that's why I decided not to give people special rewards for eliminating a player, because I don't really want to encourage it. Generally, when I design games, I actually try to design games without player elimination, but of course, Warzone does have it. Our specialized armies/lands coming. Red is good at attacking, blue is good at defense. That's something that could be implemented with the mod. It's not something I'm planning on doing right now. I'd like to see it as a mod first before I consider it. I should mention my favorite map is Europe Big. This music is so quiet. But Warlord's distribution is pretty terrible. It always seems to end up with 3 people in Eastern Europe and 1% in Iceland. Yeah, that's fair. You can make your own distribution with custom scenarios, or you could even ask the map creator to add one for you. Stuff like this is better ask the mod queue. Someone come by, drop a Discord here. Mod make a Discord. There you go. The New York Times did an interview with him. Ethan used that picture on his map. There you go. Warzone opens are cool. Europe is far away. It is indeed far away. Why do you have to be so far away, Europe? Couldn't you consider my feelings? The feature where you get your opponent's cards might be a good idea for FFAs, yeah. Take over for a friendly AI would be nice. Yeah, the main reason I've never done like influencing AIs or allowing you to control your teammate AIs is I feel like it just would become too tedious. Like if you can give AI orders for your AI teammates, it would basically, I mean, you're going to be way better than an AI. So basically it becomes like an obligation if you want to be strategic, and that kind of defeats the purpose of having an AI teammate. Can you add a Risk Legacy style feature for playing with friends? That is something I've thought about. Is there a huge tag for huge maps? Takes a while to load. I thought about adding like big and small to the tag system, but ultimately I decided against it because we already have a sort by number of territories, so it's kind of redundant. Also, how come it's not the biggest? Oh, it is the biggest map. 200 to 400. I've never seen this map. Huh. Nice. We were great for Quick Match to have more than 40 templates, especially since people can view the ones they don't like. We add all the multi-table. You can add all the MTL templates. Yes, it is. Quick Match is open voting on what templates. I've only played single and idle, but I'm obsessed, and I like to see more of both stages. Yeah, I understand. There are a lot of people that play this game that only play single player. It feels like I focus most of my energy on multiplayer, but some people I know are only into single player. Gotta go. See you later. Please do, please. I mean, scenarios where human is leaving for no reason and becomes AI, not initial AI maps. Oh, you want to take over for like a surrendered or booted teammate? Yeah, that is something that I guess makes sense. I'm not sure exactly how that would work. Like, I wouldn't want to give all of their territories to the remaining teammates because that could introduce a scenario where it's actually better for a player to get booted, because like then they can deploy where they couldn't deploy before. I wouldn't want there to ever be an advantage to getting booted, let's say it that way, because then people can do strategic boots and that's just dumb. Quick match voting just doesn't work. Take Elitist Africa dual templates. I mean, people like those templates. They get lots of votes. I'm not sure why that's evidence it doesn't work. Elitist Africa needs a map replaced by the newer version. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Back to the update. So, Clan Wars now inserts the rating of each clan in the game descriptions. This is something that was requested by the community. So it's kind of, you can always view a clan's war rating by going to the clan page and just looking where it says war rating. Where is it? Where is it? Clan war rating 579.5. So you can always view it here, but now you can actually view it on the actual game. So if you go to a game that was created in Clan Wars and look at the description, it says what the rating was at the time that game was created. tweak the army number size. This is something I'm trying to get perfect, but I made them bigger in the previous update, and some people complained that they were too big, so they've been tweaked again. It's kind of hard to get right because there's a difference between the zoomed in size and the zoomed out size. If you take screenshots of both, you'd see the numbers are actually getting bigger and smaller as I zoom in. It's hard to tell when you're just doing it, but let's see how I did. Oh yeah, that's not a good attack. He didn't know my commander was there. Love it. You're in trouble, Grandpa. Beating up on the grandpas. Oh no! You have delayed me. How dare you? Okay. We'll do that later. Okay, the chat dialogue. Just a minor bug fix. The chat dialogue would stay open if you opened it in the lobby. And now it doesn't. Do you have any plans on new features of the Warzone API? What are your thoughts on whether or not it means more features successful as it is? At the moment, I have no current plans. I usually only add stuff when I get requests. Clan War Game Feed API incoming. They were too small. Pre 5.22, they were larger. Yeah, I know. I've been talking to you, Hangfire, about that. 4K territories is not that much. Maybe a god mode for hosts again. They could shift territories and adjust people's armies. There are mods that can do stuff like that. That'll be handled by mods. Whoever do a globe mat that doesn't use the Mercator projection. Maps are actually created by the community, so anyone can create this map. And I would be surprised if what you were asking for doesn't already exist. I don't know if you have, but you should go to the map section and search for it. We have a new tag to help you find world maps. Although they're not all here yet because we just added tags, so you might have to search all of them. Yeah, an option where only the host can boot would be nice. The problem with that is if the host isn't paying attention and auto boot is turned off, the game just basically is stuck. And it would basically live forever, which would be a problem. Might be neat to have achievements and badges for said achievements next to our usernames. Sure, sounds good. Okay. When muting public or team chat for the game no longer shows chat messages. This is something I mentioned in the previous stream. It just means that when you are going to, if you have muted, like I muted team and public chat in this game because it's a mega game with 125 people, and this one as well. I muted public chat here. It used to say unread public chat here, which was kind of annoying because I had muted it. So now it doesn't. Even if there's unread chat, it just won't put it there, so I don't have to see it. That's all that means. When using rematch button on a game with random teams, the newly created game will also have random teams. It used to do a rematch of the fixed teams that were randomized in the first game. This was something that the community asked for. The attack transfer dialog now takes commanders into account. So previously, when you play a game with commanders, there's a game with commanders. You should all have commanders. It's no split. It's not a good example. Where's my commander? So now it could see, let me deploy some armies. It highlights 0, but if you uncheck your commander, it highlights 3. But previously it always highlighted 3. So now it kind of takes that into account and helps you understand what you need to attack with. Just a little bug fix. Boot my majority vote. Yeah, we used to have boot by voting, and it didn't work out, to be honest. It like rarely ever got used. So it was taken away. I'm working on a mod that, sadly, the progress is going slow due to several work problems. Oh, that's too bad. You should inform your school and work that they're interfering with your life. They probably are not aware. They're probably not aware. How about an option for various sizes to accommodate all platforms and preferences? Potentially. The problem with army sizes is if they get too big, they end up bleeding over. If you're on a map with a lot of small territories, they end up getting out of their territory and it makes the map kind of unusable. That is my level, the one on top. Cool. become another option to vote for a new host. After, say, a week, the votes are collected and a new host chosen. But then everyone needs to vote. Like, if everyone needs to vote, that would also probably not happen because you would have to have everyone return to that game. I don't know. There might be something, what you're talking about might be possible in some form, but there's a whole lot of scenarios you have to think through and talk about it. If you don't vote at the end of the week, it just doesn't vote anyway. Yeah, there's all sorts of things you could do like that, but it gets really complex. Turn the music down a little bit. Clock Eye dialogue is now draggable. It's just the dialogue wasn't draggable before. When making tournaments, your list of templates is now paginated. That means on different pages. That's something that was requested by the community. It's just, if you have a whole lot of templates, it ends up making that page really slow. So now it's not slow. Fix the displayed expiration date for turn cards. This is something that was reported. When you go to the active card section in a game, oh great, this game doesn't have any active cards. But if you go to active cards, it would say what turn the spy card expired, and it was a little misleading. Because spy cards expire at the beginning of your turn, it would actually make it seem like it was lasting a turn longer than it wasn't. So anyway, the number was just changed to be one less. So it should be no longer confusing. Unless you were used to it the old way, in which case you got to take note of this change. Otherwise you will be confused why it works differently now. But hopefully once you get used to the new way, it's going to be better for everyone. Fix a bug that could cause an error, just a little bug on the finish versus AI thing that sometimes causes an error. Fix the yellow highlighted number on some games with very low offensive kill ratios. This is something that several people reported to me. There's some template with like a 20% offensive kill rate, and the yellow highlighted number was wrong. So now it's not wrong. Did I miss anything in the first hour? Nope, absolutely nothing. Fix the bug that could cause an error when clicking change players on a team template in single player. Just a little bug fix. Fix a bug that could allow attacking out of a gifted territory. Oh, this was one that was actually a big deal. Somebody basically found an exploit where if you hacked your client and issued an attack from a territory that was gifted. So normally when you gift a territory, you give it to somebody else, like a teammate, or a teammate gives a territory to you. Normally you have to wait to the next turn to attack out of that territory. But some people found an exploit where if you hack your client, you can make an attack order out of that territory, and it would happen in the same turn you received the gift, which is not good. You're not supposed to be able to hack your client to get an advantage. So that's fixed now. So I think this is the first time it was done. So yeah, it was Rufus. So I only think this exploit existed for maybe a couple weeks. I mean, it's existed for a long time, but I don't think anyone's used it prior. As far as I'm aware, nobody used it prior to, a couple weeks ago. So now you can't do it anymore. So that's good. Game prompts you for confirmation for purchasing rare or epic artifacts. This is just because I noticed some people were accidentally double-clicking on the dialogue and they would accidentally do a purchase. It does ask you, you have to click it once and twice. So now you have to click 3 times to purchase one of these artifacts. So it should make accidental purchases less likely. Fixed a bug that would cause errors if an army camp discount got about 100%. Somebody managed to do that and it broke the game, and they sent me a bug report, so I fixed it. We talked about the mod performance stuff already. Cloning a special unit, this is just a little bug fix that I think Dutchman asked for. Maybe not a bug fix, but he wanted to make changes to mods made to special units made by other mods. So that's there. And then just a couple bug fixes for mods. Nothing too important. Nothing too significant. Okay. How do you turn off the Ask Fizzer Anything announcement on mobile iOS? The close button doesn't work. The close button should work. That's weird. You should report a bug. You should report that as a bug. The close button definitely works for me. I don't know why the close button doesn't work for you. But it will be gone pretty soon as the stream ends. When are NFTs coming to Warzone? How about never a clock? Was it actual questions going through the changes? Oh, yeah, you're asking about the first hour. Okay, so that is all of the updates in the most recent updates. The next thing we're going to do in this, in addition to answer a question from chat, is I'm going to answer questions that were asked in the forum thread. It's kind of hard to get a new quick match template up on a voting list that is 4 to 5 years old. Could you think about voting? Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Auto delete function for all templates older than 5 weeks with 5 or fewer votes. I'm not sure that would matter, to be honest, because... Oh, no, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I guess that would help. That is a decent idea. I do agree, as I mentioned earlier on the stream, we need to rethink the way quick match voting works because the list is pretty stale. And I would like to see a more dynamic list. And I'm not sure how to do that. I'm not sure the right way of doing that. But I think it is something I'm thinking about. Maybe someday I'll find a solution and we'll try something. Don't you like NFTs? I don't really see the appeal of NFTs personally, no. The most important thing so far that we might get is a setting to auto-disable new equipment. Yeah. I hope you have a plan that makes all clans equal, so it will stop being unfair. Do you have a plan that happens to make it stay unfair? You want all clans to be equal? Like every clan should be exactly the same players? Yes, every player will be in every clan. That way all the clans are equal. No, there's going to be skill difference in clans. Like some clans have better players than other clans. Never going to have all clans be equal. Some crypto bros crying while explaining his NFTs to heal the clan. Heading out, thanks for sharing this game of the world. You're welcome. I'm glad you enjoy it. Thanks for your kind words. Okay, can you make it so that latest chat comes in front when loading previous chat messages? I thought it did. I don't know what you're talking about. Comes in front. I don't know what you mean. Whenever you load previous chat messages, it should already come. Like, this game has no chat. But if I go to like past games, go to a game with chat. Load older messages. Latest chat is on front. I'm not sure what you mean. How long do you plan to keep this game running? Do you have any contingency plans in game if anything happens to you? I plan to keep this game running for the rest of my life. I do not currently have any contingency plans for if anything happens to you. Hopefully if something happens to me, I'll have a warning, advance warning before I go and I can take care of it. But maybe I should. Maybe one day I'll make a will or something and have contingency plans in case something happens immediately. I would like to get your thoughts on this list of potential improvements. An option to hide raffle messages in global chat and idle requests in clan chat. Yeah, that could be an option. You could add that to user voice if enough people want it. I feel like raffle is half the reason people are in global chat. Like, who would want to hide that? Add Swiss system tournaments? I've heard of that suggestion before. I actually don't know what they are. I would have to research it. But yeah, sure. Again, it's a thing that if enough people request. This is also something that any player could add. Warzone does expose APIs. And I think someone was even working on it. I thought I remember hearing somebody working on this feature already. You might check to see if the community already has that. Fix the unfair bye system in double elimination tournaments. To explain, those who get a bye in first round in winner's bracket and lose in the second round drop to the second round of the loser bracket. Oh, basically they get a bye in the winner's bracket and the loser's bracket. Yeah, I mean, that's something that could in theory be fixed. Kind of gets tricky. The whole system for implementing buys was pretty difficult and tricky to add, so it might be tricky to fix this, but I'm sure it's possible. If you add it to user voice, it could potentially happen. But you would have to get a lot of votes because, as I said, it's kind of tricky. The results in games on templates identical to quick match templates played in tournaments and open games. The results of games on templates identical to quick match templates but played in tournaments and open games also affect your quick match rating on those templates. That's an interesting idea. I don't know if I'd want to do that. Quick match rating is kind of only for quick match games. And one of the reasons is because quick match has a matchmaking system where it tries to match you with people based on your rating. But if you open it to like open games, then people can easily rig that, right? You can create a game with an alt and then bump up your quick match rating, which you can't do directly through quick match. So I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Line graphs to view the history and progression of quick match and ladder ratings. You can already do that for ladder ratings if you go to ladders. You can see your graphs down here. But yeah, if you'd be able to do that for quick match ratings, I think it would be cool. That's a good idea. Start quick match ratings at a median rater to make the first few games with more points so players can reach their actual rating quicker. Yeah, I do agree that's something that's important to do. That is something I have on my list that I am thinking about. I'm not sure exactly how to do it, but it is something I definitely want to do. I know that affects the new player experience because they often take a while to get to decent opponents. He means that when you open 50 plus messages, it opens on page 1 instead of last page. Oh, yeah. I see what you mean. Any thoughts on using AI and machine learning to find and kick out players that use multiple accounts to cheat in team games? I'm not sure how much AI or machine learning would help with that, to be honest. It's probably possible, but I don't know how that would do. I don't know how to do that. I've never worked with AI or machine learning, although I am interested by it. It's like building a kitten to get rid of ants. Yes. The Android app always opens on idle. It gets a bit annoying. Can we have an option to revert on multiplayer? Yes, you can. If you go to settings, it's the very top option where it says startup screen. You can choose whether classic or idle opens. Could there be an option to revert the way chat loads back to what it was before? When there was a lot of chat and you had to find specific messages, you'd be able to control after finding a message, you have to control several pages. Yeah, the main reason that change was made is because if you're in a game with a lot of chat, it ends up crashing your device. Like most devices, this may not be true if you're on a web browser. It sounds like you're on a web browser because you're talking about Control F. But on mobile devices, it would literally crash the game. Like it can't load that much chat all at once. So that's the main reason that had to be changed. Okay. The ability to sort for all-time best ratings on ladders and a filter to see the ratings of players who had played enough expired games. So ladders, we show the people with the current best rank. The goal in ladders is to get rank. Like that's kind of how ladders are designed. You should be fighting for rank, not rating. Rating is just a way to determine your rank. So that's why there's no way to search for the best ratings, is because really your rank is what matters. The rating is only matters relative to each other. I know some people try to get a really high rating, but that's not something I want to encourage. So that's why that filter doesn't exist. Level boot rate and win prerequisite for open clans. That is something that is possible, yeah. I don't know if it's I don't know how much it would be used, but yeah, you can put it on user voice. The ability to allow spectators to see through the fog of games. The main reason that doesn't exist is because it would be easy to abuse. Like you could just create another account on another device and open up the game as a spectator, and then now you can see through the fog. It kind of makes fog irrelevant. On mobile, when tabs are enabled, tapping yes when the game is fast, we'd like to view a prompt comes up, opens the game in a new tab. Same for clicking any links. Yeah, that's a good idea. Right now we don't have like the concept of open in a new tab in the tab system. What he's talking about are the tabs on mobile devices where you can have like a bunch of different tabs. Open a new tab is a feature that I would like to see added. Like this view all button, I might want to right click on this and click open a new tab, but that doesn't currently exist. You have to like open a new tab and go to it. And that could be used here too. I agree, that would be a cool feature to add. switch to using the query game API in my games and allow the chat to get chat to like. Oh, sure, that's a good idea. I had an idea for when people boot. Can you let the teammate take control of them instead of the AI? Yeah, the main reason we don't do that is we don't want booting to ever be advantageous, because then that creates a really lame scenario where people get booted on purpose, where they just sit there and let the clock run out, which is bad for everyone because it slows the game down, and it's also kind of against the spirit of the game. Because if you're just giving them to a teammate, then you could actually, it would be more powerful, basically. Do you still maintain Warzone yourself? Does it make enough money in your own source of income? Yes, that is yes to both of those questions. The ability to allow specific spectators to see through the fog of games. Yeah, that's possible. But it's still, the problem with that is it still allows cheating, right? Because then only that person can cheat. Instead of everyone can cheat, one person can cheat, which is kind of even worse, to be honest. Can you add an online indicator when a player was last seen to the forward invites page of tournaments? Yeah, I agree it makes sense to go there too. It is not currently there, and I agree. It is a place that makes sense for it to go. I will write that down. Amazing update. Love the tags for maps and mods. Thanks. I'm glad you enjoy it. One thing that I ran into is really reading a game order event object I watched. For example, now we can remove special units. I want to make a mod that allows players from losing the commanders. Yeah, you should send me this in mail. I don't think live stream is the right place for me to get into some mod specific cases. I would need to think it over and stuff. So send me that in private mail. We'll talk about that. What are your plans regarding releasing more mods for non-members? And maybe we know what, if are the requirements to have a mod available. Right now, I'm not planning on releasing any more mods for non-members. We're just going to do one and see how it goes. But some of the things I considered when choosing the one was having a low server impact. Like the swap picks only runs once and only at the beginning of the game. So it shouldn't add much load on the server. Modded games in general do load the server down quite a bit, but that one doesn't, so it was the one I picked. Great UI improvements. My badge to see what mods have errors but I haven't pressed the button. Thanks. Glad you like it. What kind of mod should have the tag UI only in your opinion? The only mod I can think of is Essentials. Yeah, maybe that was a bad idea for a mod, but for a tag. But yeah, the tags, as I mentioned earlier, are kind of up for people voting. Maybe change to menu controlled. And maybe that was just a bad idea for a tag. We can get rid of it if there's only one thing that has it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that question. We'll refine the list of tags as time goes on. Do you have any plans to give map creators a list of games using the maps just like mod developers do now? I do not have any plans to do that currently. Remember tags get maps get added? Yeah, we talked about that. Is it possible to show who's line to be displayed next to the player in real-time games, especially in team games, to be an indication if someone is there? Potentially, although honestly, if it's a real-time game, everyone should be online. That should never not, in a real-time game, you would never not see a circle next to their name. They'll probably get booted before the circle would disappear if they disappear. I mean, I guess it's possible that they're in like multiple games. No, that doesn't make sense. It would still be there. Yeah, I don't think it makes sense because it would just always be there. Oops. An update 5.22, you remove Facebook login and share on Facebook. This means the achievement shared on Facebook can't be achieved anymore. Will this achievement still exist? It should not exist. I think it's already gone, isn't it? Do you still see it? If you still see it somewhere, let me know, because it should be gone. The achievement was removed. Will you allow us to add custom tags, or at least add to the list of tags? We're going to do that on a case-by-case basis. Like, Landria, again, as we talked about earlier, it should have at least, ideally, at least 10 to 15% of the maps apply to it. Maybe that's too strict of a number, but basically, I want to have a list of the best 20-ish tags. ones that apply to the most maps, but not too many of the maps. Like, you don't want to have a tag that applies to 90% of the maps. That would be useless. When is Clan Wars matchmaking getting fixed? I wasn't aware that it was broken. It worked for me last night when I played when I played Clan Wars. But if it's broken, go to report bug and report it. But I think, as far as I know, it worked. It's worked in the last few time slots. It did not crash or anything. Let's see. Unfair clans. Members in clans get to compete in different competitions. We make it fair at some point. Having unlimited members instead of 40 is a huge advantage. I don't think it is a huge advantage. So no matter how many members are in your clan, you can only play 40 in Clan Wars. So Clan Wars is identical. It is completely fair. What if spectators being able to see through fog was implemented in a way such that spectators could only see territories that all players in the game can already see? Yeah, that is possible. Although there's still potential. Yeah, it has to be implemented in a way that ignores like reconnaissance cards and stuff, because otherwise that would reveal that somebody played a reconnaissance card, right? If everybody could see a territory, maybe 2 people can see it because they're next to it, and a 3rd person can see it because they played a reconnaissance card. So then it's like, oh, it appears, but then you'd be able to realize somebody played the reconnaissance card, which would be technically a reveal of information. So it's possible to do that, but you have to do it very carefully and think everything through. Map of just Rome, like a city battle? I'm not much of a computer whiz. There are many maps of Rome already. At least I think there are. I assume there are. I would be shocked if there wasn't already a map of Rome. Downgrading current clans is a big no-go. Current grade that 40 member limit clans is hurting clans. Which is proven by multiple success of max 40 clans moving to different clans just to get rid of that limit. I would say the other way and say there's been max 40 clans that have gotten first rank in Clan Wars, which is proof that it is not an advantage. In real-time games with manual boot, you might want to boot people if they are offline, but wait if they are online. Yeah, the problem with that is what happens if somebody just temporarily loses their internet connection, right? And they're trying to get back in, right? They're like, oh crap, let me get my internet connection back. Let me switch Wi-Fi networks. Let me move to another computer or whatever. They're trying to get back in and they get booted. Like, that's the reason I've never had. Some people have proposed that we like let you bypass the boot timer if they're gone. But that's why you don't want to allow you to bypass the boot timer. You still need to wait for the boot timer because they might be trying to get back in. Have you ever considered an "Are you sure" message on the 30-second delay on commit option with undo? Or 30-second delay on commit option. You do have the option to undo as long as you're not the last person to commit. I have a few accidental commits. I have considered an "Are you sure" message that could be optionally enabled. That's the thing that if it got enough votes on user voice, I'd do it. But can we get an answer on 40-player camp? I answered it. The share on Facebook achievement is gone from my account. Yes, it should be gone. Does the AI use cards? The AI knows how to play some types of cards, like it'll play blockade cards and reinforcement cards. When on a team in single player, only the player can use cards. When an AI is teamed with a human player, it will never use cards unless it is forced to. The only case it's forced to is if you have to. You can only hold a certain number of cards and it has to play them. We want to play Clan League. We don't want to kick players. Player who wants to play Clan League, Clan Wars are not the same. How can that be amazing? Issues: you have to remove people who are inactive. It is crippling our community who we're trying to build. Why is somebody who is inactive helping your clan? If they're inactive, they are by definition not doing anything to your clan. Even in Clan Wars, it's not identical. Finding 40 active players among 400 is easier than finding 40 active players among 40. Again, if they're not active, why are they helping your clan? Just remove them. 40-player camp is brutal in a game where there are 30-player FFAs. Player has to be 90. Sure, yeah. I mean, it's fair in regards to Clan Wars. If you're playing FFAs, but if you're playing FFAs, there's no restriction on your clans. Top #1 Clan Wars clans are not real clans, just a group of people joining us in clans for winning Clan Wars. That is a real clan in my opinion. Joining specifically for winning Clan Wars is still a clan. I don't know why you would call them a not real clan. I disagree. I wonder if you could create a game with only 2 colors and more than 2 players. Wait, create a game with only 2 colors and more than 2 players, like a 4v4 red versus blue. I don't know how that would work. I guess you say like they control the same territories is what you're trying to say. So it's like a 2v2 or like a 4v4, but all 4 people control the same territories. That would be interesting. Let me think about that. So like everyone's deploying on the same territories. It would get kind of weird because if 2 people deploy on the same territory and then issue an attack, you kind of get timing issues, right? Like if I attack from Brazil to pull up the map. If I attack from Brazil to North Africa, but 4 people on my team have control of Brazil and can potentially deploy there. Like my attack will come with the number of armies at the time I issue the attack, but some people might deploy to Brazil after I issue that attack. I mean, maybe it's a case for percentage attacks where you attack with 100% instead of attacking with a specific number of armies. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I've actually never thought about that. Could work, but it's not something that's currently possible in Warzone. Also, would it be possible to make like Team A can choose cities on the south border coast of USA? Yes, that's scenario distributions. I actually talked about that earlier in the stream. There's a feature called scenario distribution. The only problem with it is the map creator has to set up those distributions ahead of time. So like the top versus double Earth map, you can look at that as a scenario distribution. I mean, a whole bunch of maps do, but that's just one I know of. And Idle, ever thought about having passive type artifacts auto applied to remove the need to swap artifacts in and out multiple times? Yeah, I agree that is a weird point of Idle. I don't like the idea of swapping artifacts all the time, but at the same time, like having passive artifacts always be applied is kind of overpowered, but swapping is tedious. Honestly, I wanted to design artifacts differently in some way so that you didn't have to do that swapping all the time, but I kind of failed. It just didn't end up happening. So the current solution is not great, but I don't know of a better way to solve it without upsetting everyone. Why no custom scenarios for mega games? Would be a really fun feature. That is something I'm thinking about. The main reason it wasn't added initially with mega games is because people could abuse it. They could just give themselves... I think a lot of people want to do this, just want to give themselves better position than everyone else. But I would be open to adding custom scenarios in mega games as long as you don't get to choose what scenario you get. That way it's fair for everyone. Why does it have to be a difference in clan size? So I think fundamentally the community is healthier when you have a lot of different clans rather than having just 2 or 3 mega clans with thousands of people. I think that is a healthier community, and Clan Wars would also be dumb if you just had 2 or 3 mega clans, because then most people wouldn't get to play Clan Wars. Okay. Yeah, I lowered the music a little bit. The problem with unlimited clans too is most people don't get to play Clan Wars. Clan Wars is intended to be a feature that everyone can participate in. And if we have clans with thousands of members, that means there's thousands of people that just can't play. If Clan Wars was designed differently, then maybe you could have unlimited clans that everyone can play. Okay. What is the tiebreaker for clan? We talked about this earlier. Is it possible to add a setting that would allow attacking from gifted territories? It is possible, yes. It's something you could add to user voice. I don't know if it's a very good idea for a setting, to be honest, but it is possible. Ladders and community events should be updated. Those are managed by the community. P.S. Here you go. This is one for you. Community events should be updated. PS controls community events. Update it. Furthermore, MTL is a ladder and can allow you a golden trophy and display your profile. Why not include it under Warzone ladders? So it is a community run event. So I think community events is the best place for it. PS says he updates them whenever he gets a DM. So send a direct message to PS. We can hear when Fizzer plays streams. Oh, you have one. I played a turn earlier. Will there be upgrades or new things in Idle? For example, new levels such as Ascensions being level in Europe huge. Probably someday, but it's not something I'm currently working on. Will there ever be update? We were trying to add a level on Small Earth, but ramp up the armies and neutrals handles everything. Every neutral have a building. Make the hardest level on the tutorial map. I mean, that's kind of what the post-Super Ascension levels are. They're smaller maps, but ramped up armies on neutrals. I mean, maybe you want even more ramped up, which is fair. Seems like game order custom are not saved on the browser when you have a community orders in the other page. Can you fix that? You should report that as a bug. I'll look into it. But yeah, you should send me a bug report with that. It's not something I can really investigate on stream. I think it does say on the community events page. Does it not say? I thought it said. List of community events is maintained by PS. It says it on the community dashboard. And there's a link right here to this account. So you can click on that. Go see that sexy account. I will once again be at work. Said the community wants new templates on Clan War. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. I agree. Clan Wars should get new templates. As avid Clan War participant, I agree with rendition templates, yes. Just read all the way through the blog. Do you think the Clan War system is perfect? No, nothing's ever perfect. If so, why deny a revamp or change? I have never denied a revamp or change, but I would say that no system that exists in Warzone is perfect. And that everything will get improved in time. It's just Clan Wars is not at the top of the list. Ladders is currently near the top of the list. Ladders have not received an update in over 10 years. They've been waiting a lot longer than Clan Wars. Should we have some changes made to promote new scenarios, for example? Clearing quick match scenarios? Should we have some changes made to promote new scenarios? I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. Figure out a system to offer lollipops to anyone requesting reasonable community event requests. There you go. I want a lollipop. A new ladder would be so freaking crazy. Who would be first to get the trophy? Do you prefer banana or strawberry flavor? Strawberry. I like banana too. Revamp the custom scenario maker being as cursed as it is. I'm not sure what's cursed about it. You need to provide more details when you put your suggestions. As far as I know, the custom scenario maker works fine. It's not cursed, but put Grower's Cafe into the community tab. There you go. P.S. He's begging you. people are able to play and not getting games due to the rating system. So there's always going to be a chance that somebody doesn't get a game, but they should get a free win. Because if there's an odd number of people that subscribe to a single template, it's just impossible to get everyone a game. There's an achievement called Reverse Level 1 where we shall win from slot B of a template that does not exist anymore. You can make those and other achievements. I think that one is marked as deprecated. Or maybe it's not. Yeah. So there's a bunch of achievements, and this is an example of one that is still exists, but it's not. It won't show up on your unearned achievements list, and even if you never do it, you can still get 100% achievements. So it's basically like an old achievement that isn't intended to be done anymore. You might see it on other people's profiles, like if they got it, but yeah, you don't need to get it. Like there's another example of those achievements is like win the FFA auto game used to be an achievement, but the FFA auto game does not exist anymore, and so you cannot do it anymore. You might see it on other people's profiles, but you'll never see it in the unearned achievements list, and you can still get to 100% if you don't do it. Why do you want old clans and new clans to have different membership clan? Is there a good answer to that? Yeah, I answered that earlier. Ever thought about ranking metric public profile visible? A ranking metric public profile visible statistics to highlight idle performance. Yeah, that is a good idea. That is the kind of thing you could add to user voice. I don't have anything against that. It's just something that hasn't been done. If you have clans with rating 300, 200, 100, 10 people join for 300, 10 for 200, and 10 for 100, only 10 games will be created. Yeah, I mean, there are edge cases. I mean, that might be true. Only 10 games will be created. None from 100 will be given a game. Yeah, I don't think that's a very realistic scenario. I haven't seen that. And my answer to that is you shouldn't have 10 people join one template in one time slot. You should spread that out amongst the different time slots. But the fact is there's a lot of different matchmaking systems you could use in Clan Wars or anything. They all are going to have pros and cons. Simply pointing out that a con exists in the current scenario is not enough impetus to make it changed, because guess what? If we switch to another system, that one will have pros and cons too. And people will point out the cons in that system. And then we switch again, and the new system has pros and cons. People will point out the cons. Every system's going to have pros and cons. So simply saying cons exist is not enough to make change. If you want to suggest a change, you need to propose what we should change to, and then we can examine the pros and cons of both and determine which is better. There's a big problem with the rating. The top rating rating will soak up all the games and multiple low rated games will not get games. Yeah, I would say if you're a low rated clan, you should be spreading out amongst different templates. The low rated clans, you will get free wins. You will get one free win per template, so you should take advantage of that. That's a good thing to get. The high rating clans don't get free wins. It's actually better to be low rating clan in my opinion. What is the move order on single player levels? For example, every single player level can define its own move order. You can go into the settings. The game settings clearly say the move order is cycle. The enemy candidate first move 3 times in a row. That should not be the case. If the move order is cycle, you should be able to move before them. I would say if you really have this, first off, you should double check. When the game is over, go look at the settings, go look at the thing. Also, they might have had an order priority card that allows you to break the cycle. But once the game is over, go look, check for order priority cards, double check to make sure that they actually got the same move 3 times in a row. If you really see it, then take screenshots and share it, because that would mean you found a bug. What you described should not be possible. Why is there no hospital visibility advancement? I think the visibility advancements got added before hospitals existed, if I remember correctly. It's probably the only reason. No current plans to add that, but it might just be an oversight. Could you make clan requests visible to each of us under the clan resource sharing tab? Could you make our clan requests visible to each of us? Currently, we only see our clan requests, not our own. Oh, you want to see your own? Yeah, potentially. You could add that to user voice. I don't see any reason. I don't see a reason to show it. I don't see a reason not to show it. I don't know. I don't know why you'd want to see your own. You should know that you made your own, right? Explain why that's important. Top clans get more free wins than top clans get more free wins than top clans. Check the stats. You literally just said top clans get more free wins than top clans. The only way to know if we should have a pending request is if we either remember that we put one in that hasn't been filled, or look in clan chat, hopefully text hasn't got pushed off the screen. I see. Okay. Thank you for explaining yourself. You answered you fulfilled my request. Yeah, sure. If enough people wants this, I could add it. You should add it to user voice. Sometimes they don't get filled and we're left wondering. Yeah, that's fair. This is particularly hard to keep track of. We are playing multiple levels simultaneously and have a bad memory. Why force us to go digging through old clan chats to find a pending request? Sure. I accidentally bought a second rare artifact for 500 coins during a couple weeks ago. You graciously refunded me for the first screw up. I didn't bother emailing you again. Oh, I'm sorry you had that accident. But at least now there's an extra confirmation. We don't know the exact value mean. Yeah, I talked about that earlier on the stream, and I will add official documentation for it too. I've thought about something else that could make custom scenarios embrace mods, placing structures and units in the custom scenario builder. Want to know more about it? Potentially. I mean, that's the kind of thing that should be on user voice. If enough people want it, it's something that could be added, but I don't know. I don't think enough people want it, but that's just my guess. Currently, arena games take the coin settings from Quick Match, resulting in coined arena games sometimes. While not necessarily wrong, it feels weird. Yeah. You are right, it does. So the arena system in Quick Match, or in Idle, uses Quick Match to make its matchmaking, which means it's going to use all of your Quick Match settings, including coins. I definitely agree it feels weird. But at the same time, that will only happen if you have previously gone to Quick Match and enabled coins. If you're an Idle only player, like you only install the Warzone Idle app, or if you never opened Quick Match, it won't use coins. It's only if you've gone to Quick Match and enabled coins that it will do that. So I think it's acceptable, but I could see why it feels weird. If you don't want it, go to Quick Match, turn off coins. Could you add an option for sorting various lists in Idle? For example, dig sites by dig time. Yeah, I think it's a good idea for a feature. You should submit it to user voice. That's again the kind of thing that if enough people vote on it, it would be something that would come to my attention. While on the topic of digs, would it be possible for us to target which dig site to hit next with the auto dig advancement? The auto advancements are designed to be not as good as if you did it by hand. That's kind of the design of all the auto advancements. They will remove the tedium of one particular area of the game, but you lose some control when you enable the auto advancements. That's just kind of the fundamental design of them. I don't want any auto advancements to be as good as manually playing. So that's my logic in that. On the 2nd of March? Oh, crap. Did I screw up the link? Wow, it's a little late for that. People are going to come here in 27 days and be like, what? How come you're not streaming? I'm streaming a month early. Hope you guys are ready. I mean, of course, everyone that's here is ready. I'm determining the third month of typo should have been the second month. Yeah. Will the map mod tags ever be expanded? Yeah, we talked about that. Especially the maps could do with some more tags. Africa first. Yeah, we talked about that. Mods could use distribution special units. Those are good ideas. Yeah, I should have thought of that. I think special units is a good suggestion. It's much better than UI only. I was more or less expecting we could add our own tags. I forget the mods would add our own tags. Yeah, we talked about that. Please release a premium green color. The current choices are so blue-red. Pretty please. Yeah, it's a good idea. I should. Honestly, when I released the sample colors, I didn't consider variety. Added user voice to keep track of it. At some point when I add new colors, I will consider it if I remember. I'm not planning on adding new colors right now, but when we get around to adding new colors, I will consider it. Would it be possible to set attack transfer phase as the default selection so we don't have to skip it each turn? Ah, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I can see why that would be useful. If we're using the control deployment trick, if you don't know what Garpy is talking about here, you can hold down the control button to deploy even when you're in attack mode. So I'm in attack mode right now, but when I hold down the control button, I can deploy armies even while in attack mode. That's kind of a trick. And what Garpy's asking for is to not have to click attack mode, just have it always default there. That makes sense if you're using the control trick. Yeah, you could add that to user voice. All right, we're going to go over the last questions in chat, and then that'll be the end of the stream. Why do you want old communities to have a big advantage with unlimited versus 4-player cap? As I said before, it's not an advantage because only 40 people can participate in clan wars regardless. A new community can never compete? That's not true. We've already had 40-player capped clans win all of clan wars before. It is proven they can compete. Likely banned invader. Hi, you can create something in between local distribution and normal distribution where income from linked bonuses would be calculated and could be deployed only in this area? That way it would be possible to tactic better and create pockets. Hold on just a second. Okay, sorry, I'm back. Create pockets in which the opponent cannot deploy his entire income. The only income from the bonuses in this pocket. Not sure I completely follow what you're talking about. It sounds like you're kind of talking about local deployments, but then you're also talking about the distribution. Income from linked bonuses would be calculated and could be deployed only in this area. I'm not sure I fully follow what you're talking about, but it sounds like an interesting idea. And your message just disappeared for some reason. Okay, I don't know why, but sounds like an interesting idea. Maybe you could do it with a mod. I'm not sure I completely follow exactly. Flex US, how does it feel to have Fizzer use you as his strongest argument against you? Yeah, I mean, the clan cap was changed for clan wars. And in my opinion, it is better to have lots of medium-sized clans rather than a few giant 1,000-player clans. That's the reason that it was changed. Tried to open the app on my phone, and the announcement blocks everything, and I can't play. Oh no, we should turn off that announcement. Let's turn that off. Yeah, that is weird. You're the second person to report that. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why the close button isn't working. It might be an idle thing. I will look into that for the next update. I just turned the announcement off, so within a few minutes it should be gone. Sorry for the problems. But I think we're done because we reached the end. I'll refresh one more time. Nope, no more posts have been made. T-Best said something about letting us level up clans versus the double clan member slots. Yeah, again, I think it's better to have lots of clans rather than a few giant ones. So that's why it was changed. All right, so that's going to be the end of today's stream. So thanks everyone so much for watching. Thanks for all the great questions. I hope to see you next time. Thanks everyone.